How do you feel about the Los Angeles Rams playing the San Francisco 49ers next season in Melbourne, Australia? I honestly, genuinely just want to know. Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to talk about a couple of different point of views in this video in regards to the subject. This information came out last week, but I was off. So I wanted to make a video about this and just kind of dive right in because I think it is interesting. There's a lot of different viewpoints in regards to this international series. This one in particular. The first point I'm going to bring up is the obvious elephant in the room, the time difference. There is a 19-hour time difference. Melbourne, Australia is 19 hours ahead of Los Angeles, right? So if it's 9 a.m. in Melbourne, a day ahead, it would be 2 p.m. in Los Angeles the previous day, right? So I kind of looked it up. I looked it up. A lot of the London international games, they kick off on at 2:30 p.m. On their local time, so that it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, or even or 6:30 a.m. Pacific time for those London games. But this is different because it's technically going into the future. um, so it's going to be interesting to see what time and date they actually select. I think this is going to be probably on a Friday or maybe a Saturday, to allow for ideally optimal viewership of it, because it is the first game in Australia that the NFL has ever embarked on. But I brought up this chart here on timebee.com, so thanks for that website I've never been to in my life, but it displays it really nice. So say they went with 2 p.m. Melbourne time, so that would be 7 p.m. Los Angeles time the previous day. So if they do it 2 p.m. on a Saturday, it would be 7 p.m. on a Friday night. That'd be kind of cool. We'll see, if that's a time that they would do. I really have no clue how they're going to schedule this game, and I hope it is early in the year. I know a lot of fans have mentioned they really hope it's week one, so that they can kind of announce for it. But then I've also heard fans say they don't want it to be the first game of the season because it is a Rams home game. It's the Rams versus the 49ers, a rivalry game. And why is this game going to Australia altogether to begin with? And you heard, there's the clip from Puka Nakua, who appeared on Fred Warner's podcast. I'll play it here.
Oh, I don't know, bro. I'm like, yo, we're an hour away from each other. Why are we going to
Why
Australia?
Because we're trying to make.
For the record, I think he means like an hour away flight wise, from the Niners and the Rams when they play each other.
Worldwide moves, brother. That's why they want us on that jet going 20 hours to down under. Crikey.
Like, I love kangaroos too, dude. And I'm like, but man, I want to see them when I play somebody on the cross the
and
country.
guess what? It's
bro.
your home game too. So now you don't get a home game. All right, we still get our home game.
Love it. I'm like, honestly, at SoFi, there's not too many home games.
I was just about to say, now that's honestly a blow to us. To be real.
No, for real.
Let's talk about you.
So Puka, again, he's joking a little bit there, because it's well known that whenever the Rams and 49ers play, a lot of 49ers fans decide, hey, I want to take a vacation to LA that week, and they come in. And I love when those games happen and the Rams win and all the 49ers fans lose crying on the escalators, and the Rams social media team has a field day. But I'll admit, I want to see the Rams, home field advantage at SoFi continue to grow, and it has been growing. It really has over the past, I'd say 3 or 4 years. It's really, developed from when they first moved back to Los Angeles. And I say this as a Canadian fan who's not an LA local, but I very much enjoy seeing what the Rams are doing to grow the fan base. But last year there was the training camp that they did over in Hawaii. Then there's now this going to Australia. And I do believe this is not just with the Rams, but the NFL as a whole, really trying to grow the brand of the NFL and the sport of football globally. And the Rams, they're going to be the ones involved with this here. So going over to their website, the official announcement that happened back in February 5th, 2026, or sorry, 2025 is when the Rams they announced it that they'll be the first ever NFL regular season game in Australia, and then it was announced later or this year, also on February the 5th, but in 2026, that it was confirmed that it was going to be the San Francisco 49ers. And says the National Football League today announced that the Los Angeles Rams will take on the San Francisco 49ers in the first ever NFL regular season game in Australia as part of the NFL's multi-year commitment to play regular season games in Melbourne, Australia. The NFL's first ever regular season game in Australia featuring the Rams playing as the designated home team will take place at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground (MCG), which, from what I read online, that it is a historic stadium, and a lot of Australians. Shout out Australians if there's anyone watching this. They love this stadium, and it seems like for the first NFL game, this is a premier stadium to play it in. So I am thankful for that, and the I'm sure that it's going to be a full crowd. I don't know how many Ram fans will show up. I don't know how many 49ers fans are going to show up. I've already seen people from each fan base posting online that they are hoping to to make a plan to go visit Down Under. I'm sure there's gonna be lots of jokes about Down Under and kangaroos and all that jazz. So I say all this because I do want to respect the local opinion of this is the Los Angeles Rams losing a game at SoFi Stadium. That's for season ticket holders, that's a game that they can't go to or a game that they can't resell their tickets to, which I know that's kind of part of the season ticket holder experience. So I could see how that could be frustrating for some of them. And I also see and empathize with, yeah, like, why does it have to be the 49ers? Like, I want to see the Rams and 49ers play in Los Angeles at SoFi, and I want to see them play at Levi's in Santa Clara. And to build that rivalry, that's it's a pretty heated rivalry in terms of the landscape of the NFL. And the NFL clearly thought, hey, you know what? We want to make sure that it's a good game, an intense game. It's gonna. This is the first game in Australia, but I don't know. If you look at the Rams' opponents, why did it have to be an NFC West opponent and rival, right? And now, in contrast, kind of what Fred Warner alluded to in that clip there, I've seen 49ers fans be like, oh, like, that hurts us more than it hurts the Rams, like that sort of thing, and kind of the reverse psychology of it. And I've seen Ram fans kind of go on that and say, well, you know what, that helps us in terms of like not having 49ers fans come to the game as much because it can cost them way more money. They're gonna have to go on a big like 16-hour flight to get there. And then I honestly don't know about any of that, but I do know that both the Rams and 49ers are two of the teams that travel the most, being in the West Coast anyway. So adding this 16-hour flight, it just adds to the travel time of it, right? And for two teams that already travel, some of the most, I know Seattle's up there as well. They travel the most. What, like, how does that impact the rest of their season, right? And I'm curious, are they going to have a bye week after this game? If it comes week 1, is that really how you want your season to start? I don't know. These are all questions I'm asking, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. In general, I get excited about the Rams representing the NFL in Australia. And continuing to grow the fandom of the Rams, the Ramily, so to speak. And those are kind of my just like general thoughts. But I'm saying that as a Canadian international fan that lives on like the east coast of Canada, so I totally acknowledge how it could be a different perspective from someone living locally in Los Angeles. And I honestly I encourage good conversation, and please be civil to each other and be passionate, but I want to hear different points of view. I would be totally content if the Rams never played international games and they just kind of stuck to within the United States. but I can see the perspective of it's exciting and it's cool. And I know that there's some Ram fans in Australia that are gonna like this is gonna be one of the greatest days of their life. And so I get excited for them to have this gift, of a game played there. If the Rams ever played in Canada, I would go. I'd be so excited. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I know they're kind of scrambled together. I want to hear yours in the comments below. I'll have another video coming out tonight as I continue my series about the Rams off-season needs. Feel free to check out this one here where I talk about the Rams cornerback room and what they're going to need to do to address it. So, as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams! Woo!